Hello and welcome to another episode of It's All Geek to Me, the pop culture chat show where three friends with varying degrees of nerd knowledge get together each week to have a chat about all things geek. My name is Rich Gittins, and you might notice there's a little change of scenery this week. It's because I have entered Nathan's man cave this week, where it's all warm and cozy and a tiny bit moist. So give it up for my good buddy, Mr. Nathan Webb.
Welcome to our chat show.
Welcome to our chat show.
Chat show?
Well, Webby, we're in the same room this week.
Look
How
at
you
this.
doing? Oh, look at that. We can touch each other.
Why's your hand wet?
I told you, it's moist and warm and cozy in here. So this week, it's a special show because, yes, you've got me and Webby in one space, but we also have our buddy, Chris Lumb. So come on out, Chris Lumb.
He's not here.
Stanley, you're right, Stanley. How you doing, Lummy? Come on out.
Hello.
Hello, Lummy. How you doing?
Stan keeps gate crashing stuff. I don't know what's going on now.
He's out of control. The guy.
Look at you two sat together on your little sofa.
You could have been sat right between us, but you couldn't be asked coming, could you? You couldn't be asked, could you?
You would have fit nice and snug right here, buddy. Right.
It took me at least 30 minutes to get over there. You know, I'm busy. I've had a busy day. We're bothered.
Yeah, he's created 4 podcasts and done 25.
I thought about coming over and doing an on the spotlight report outside your front door and go, I'm here. But then, I thought the amount of sorting that out it would have taken. I just thought, I can't.
And also, chance are you'd have probably had your equipment nicked if you stood outside Webby's house. Whoa, what's around here, Webby?
No, he's on the border. It's all right where he is.
I'm on.
So, technically. We got a special show this week because it's a bit of a shorter show, but it is because we are going to be discussing some of the releases from Disney Plus Day. But it's not just the films that we watched over the weekend that were released on the 12th of December. Actually, Disney released some other information over the weekend as well, didn't they?
Yeah, can we do some? Let's do some quick hellos because I've got people saying hello.
Ah, Big T! Hey up, Big T! How are you?
Sure.
Yeah, baby. You want to be in our chat show. Mandy, hello. How you doing? Thanks for your comment on the YouTube channel as well. Thank
and
you.
Our old friend, Natalie Smeaton, Shoulderhead.
Oh, Natalie Smeaton.
Shut up now.
Yeah, lovely. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Feel free to leave a comment down below, just like those folks did. And feel free to share the heck out of our content. Hey up, Puddy Cad, how you doing? Feel free to share the heck out of our content because it's about creating a large community so we can increase our nerd knowledge.
Any kind of community. Don't even have to be large. Even a little. We'll take a little.
Do you know, we've got a lovely group of viewers on this show, and loads of them have been taking part in the YouTube channel. It's been really, really lovely. We've been really enjoying your comments and your shares and your subscriptions and all those sorts of things. So thank you very, very, very much.
Actually, turns out many of you are way more qualified than we are to do this. Thanks for all your corrections.
I think we know that Big T and Martin are both more qualified than
anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like they write some of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's embarrassing when your writers are 50% of your viewing audience.
But we are honoured.
This is already going so well with you two in the same room.
Well, you know what, Lummy? You should have been here.
Yeah.
No, I'm still glad I'm here.
Yeah, all right.
So, maybe at Christmas time we can all get in the same room. It'd be a Christmas miracle.
Promising us stuff you've no intention of doing.
Here tonight, dickhead.
Yeah, no,
I didn't promise jack shit to you, slime balls.
Slags then, or is it just? So, gentlemen, what have we found out from the Disney Plus Day? What's been going on? What we're talking about? What news have we got going down this week?
Is it? Where am I?
Well, there's your Disney Plus logo.
Just in case nobody knows.
Nobody knows what it is. Well, we're talking about a couple of things today, but the first one, they did put a load of content up in there from some Star Wars stuff. So if there's any Star Wars fans, we've got.
Now, wait a minute. You say a lot. I say a tiny bit.
Oh, a tiny bit.
Yeah. I honestly thought we were going to get some sort of a trailer for Obi-Wan or some behind-the-scenes footage or something like that. But they really just gave us a load of what's it called, concept art and stuff,
and some talking head stuff with McGregor.
Yeah, he came on and went, I can't wait to show you this thing, but I'm not going to show you it now.
Yeah,
So
not ready.
did anyone else watch that and just sort of watching going, okay, cool. McGregor's like, yeah, I think more people want to see more about this character. And then they're like, yeah, and Hayden Christensen's coming back to reprise his role of Darth Vader. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you're putting in all this money and all of this effort to basically recreate the worst thing that Star Wars has ever put out there. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit.
I mean, like,
nobody likes Darth Vader, do they? I mean, you know.
Well, people, of course, but that's not the same Darth Vader, is it? Literally, that is. I mean, it's the Night from Monty Python scene, isn't it? Where it's like, oh, it's just a cut. No, Obi-Wan. Oh, it's just a scratch. We can keep fighting. It's rubbish.
Martin's here, so look at Martin.
Yeah, we locked him in the basement.
Yeah, he's been a naughty boy, Martin.
Yeah.
Go on, listen with me.
Jaws, it'd be all right.
How's it going? We're all right, Martin. Boba Fett stuff looked good. I watched that. Did you watch the Boba Fett?
I missed that, actually.
Oh, no, the under the helmet thing.
Yeah, that was all right, yeah. Let's stop laughing. Come on. Come on, kids.
Now, going back to Obi-Wan for a second, everybody seems to be really, really excited for this completely made-up new battle between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, right? Because that's what it's all going to lead up to, is them having a duel. But I understood that after the prequels, Obi-Wan goes to Tatooine and lives there, and he doesn't really have much contact with anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm interested how they're going to shoehorn that in. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited.
Well, he'll go off and have a few adventures, won't he, and then come back. He's not going to.
I hope so, because if it's 10 episodes of him sat in a cave in Tatooine, I think we'll be a bit let down.
I mean, I'm hoping. Go on with me.
I was going to say, we've got all this art here, so we can have a look through it and see what you think.
Let's speculate.
Is there any...
There you go. There's Obi-Wan sat on a horse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's sat on a...
Is there any concept art of him stood on a motorized floating platform over some lava and fighting somebody else in a really unrealistic fight?
Close.
Close.
Okay.
I mean, is he going to go back to where Vader is and have another showdown on the same planet? Because that's where Vader's living in it now.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes.
Right.
I'm going to go out on a limb and actually say that when Obi-Wan takes Luke, he's actually given to him by Darth Vader. I think we think it's going to be given to him by Luke's mum, but I think Darth Vader's going to give him Luke.
We've seen that happen though.
What are you on about?
The end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, they give him to his uncle and aunt.
Yeah. He took him to.
Padme dies in childbirth.
Yeah,
and the two twins. One of them gets given to the guy who, what's he called?
Don't forget, she died of a broken heart.
Yeah, she died of a broken
important.
Yeah. And one of the babies goes with Obi-Wan. Luke goes with Obi-Wan to Tatooine.
Who gives it to him? Who gives Luke to him?
The people who were left after they died. They're like medical droid things,
Jimmy
aren't
Smiths.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that there's going to be some meeting or some force thing where Darth Vader's like, look after my son, guide him through the force and something. I think there's just going to be something in there.
Okay, I think you might be getting a bit mixed up, right? Because Obi-Wan. Okay, Darth Vader.
You think Darth Vader's going to send a signal to Obi-Wan and go look after my son?
I think there's going to be something in there, yeah.
Right, okay. Darth Vader.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah, I have, absolutely. But I just also know how confused it was left.
Go on, Webb.
At the end of Revenge of the Sith, the two babies get split up. One gets sent to Alderaan, one gets sent to Tatooine.
Yeah, I remember the scene.
Darth Vader doesn't know they're twins. This is where the prequels kind of fall apart. You don't learn that he has a twin sister until Return of the Jedi. So you're learning it in time with Darth Vader.
Yeah, I'm not thinking anything to do with Leia. I'm literally thinking that if he knows that he's got a son and he knows he's got Luke, or he knows he's got a baby, I just think they're going to shoehorn something in there.
You don't know about Leia. You do know that. You remember?
Yes,
that.
and I'm not talking about Leia. I'm literally talking just about Luke. So you got this whole thing in the snippet that they have in Disney Plus, where you've got Ewan McGregor talking about the fact that Hayden Christensen's come back, and it's a story about him, what happens with him and Luke, and all that sort of stuff when Luke's a baby. I just think they're going to have something in there. It's going to come from left field, and it's going to be some sort of permission from Darth Vader. I just think there's going to be something in there, and I think it's It's either everyone's gonna either love it or hate it.
I think it's going to be right that it's a direct continuation from Revenge of the Sith. Darth Vader wakes up in a Darth Vader body and he's mad. He's real mad. That his baby's gone, his missus died, he's twisted up, and he's chasing Obi-Wan on a theory that Obi-Wan has a baby. Yeah. And it's probably his. Or maybe he doesn't even know about the baby and he's chasing Obi-Wan because he's pissed off because he chopped him to bits. You know what I mean? So he's just got a vendetta against him. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be quite a few episodes before we see Darth Vader. But it'd be nice, I guess, if Darth Vader is going to be in it, that he gets quite a lot of screen time and you learn a little bit about his story and his thought process.
Well, there's some artwork here. Look, this is the that's like one of them. Do you know about these? It were in that video game.
Sith Inquisitor, isn't it?
Yeah. So apparently this is going to be them all, like there's Jedi left in the galaxy and they're going around like slaying them all, basically. That's what they're on about.
Yeah, so, because they keep saying that, don't they? They're going to kill all the Jedi, but they actually keep leaving a few by accident. So we're gonna.
So it might be a lot of Vader going around like Jedi's. You never know. Might be.
Yeah, he might actually gather some evidence as he goes through killing Jedi as to where Obi-Wan is and what's going on. He might learn that. Oh, by the way, while
this
you
was interesting.
Look. Tank while you were getting fixed up, yeah, that's cool. While you were getting fixed in the back to tank and while you were regenerating yourself, and by the way, he ran off with your kid. Do you know what I mean? So maybe he learns a little bit about this baby,
or maybe you see Obi-Wan having some sort of premonition or something like that, which is why he has to take Luke away. But I just think there's going to be definitely interaction between them surrounding the kid, and whether it's with his blessing or not. I just think they might be something out of left
field. I'll tell you what would be really, really nice is if at one point you see a shot of Darth Vader holding a baby.
Yeah.
How weird would that be to just see him looking down at a little baby Luke and
singing to it?
Yeah.
Go to sleep and good night.
Breastfeeding it.
Man. Could be heating up his formula with his lightsaber, just dipping it in, right temperature. But maybe.
Big T-Mo's just said this. Look at this. Forget Disney Plus. Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock trailer just dropped, coming to Apple Plus in January.
Apple Plus? Well, that'd be Disney, wouldn't it?
You would have done, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
maybe they haven't bought everything yet. Maybe they don't own all the Tencent stuff. You know that, wouldn't you?
Apple TV, it's just there isn't enough on there for me to justify. I had it for like a month so I could watch actually the Ewan McGregor Long Way Up.
Mate, you only need a month of Apple Plus, and you can pretty much catch up on the things that are decent on there.
Yeah.
Spread a bit. I'll tell you what was good. The Servant, we really enjoyed the M Night Shyamalan one. Yeah, that was good. Nice twisty turny. Good.
Are you guys looking forward to Obi-Wan? What are you looking forward to most, Obi-Wan or?
I'm looking forward to talking about this a bit later on in the show.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, of course.
But out of Book of Boba and Obi-Wan, which one are you looking forward to the most from what you've seen so far?
I'm looking forward to Obi-Wan more myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, I don't know. It's the character that's got a little bit more. We know a little bit more about him. Boba Fett is very mysterious. I guess there's a danger there.
Do you know what the good thing about it is? They're both set in different timelines. One's after second trilogy, so
I just think there's a huge chance with the Obi-Wan that it's going to leave a lot of people upset. Whereas I think it's riskier than the Book of Boba. I think people are going to look at that the same way they looked at the Mandalorian. It's almost like a clean slate. It's all a blank canvas.
Personally speaking, I will be probably really harsh on Obi-Wan. I'll probably be really harsh on Ewan McGregor. If you don't get it right and there's any trace of that fake shit, then
And have they got their own show going on in the comments there, Lummy?
I don't know what. None of us have got Apple Plus.
Apple Plus.
It's Jason Momoa. It's set in a world where everybody's blind and they have to use their wits.
Okay.
A bit like Daredevil, bunch of medieval daredevils running around.
Before we get on to reviewing the two films that we saw over the weekend, I can't remember what it was called. What was the film I watched yesterday with? I was telling you about Red.
Oh, Red Notice.
Red Notice. A silly film, but who knew Who knew that that was the buddy cop partnership that I'd always wanted to see, but never knew about? Oh, Reynolds and The Rock, brilliant.
Who knew
Really
there'd
good
ever be a
partnership.
point in time where you're more current on your movies than I am?
Yeah, no, honestly, it's a silly film. It's a silly film, but they're a brilliant partnership.
I'm glad The Rock's getting a bit of work because, you know.
Yeah. You what?
I'm glad Dwayne Johnson, The Rock's getting a bit of work because he's hardly, you know.
I know,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And I was watching, at one point I was watching it going, wow, this must be like the 4th film I've seen you in within the last year where you're walking through the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it's just like
Nat's seen it as well.
Yeah, it was
What's
silly.
weird
It
is
was
if I
silly,
sat down
but-
and watched a film with The Rock with my kid, I'd have to explain who
Who
The
The
Rock,
Rock is.
Like,
Yeah.
just the whole generation of people that just know him as like this massive actor, not a wrestler.
We'll have to save this for later, but Home Alone, so we'll talk about this later, Martin. Don't you worry. We'll get there.
Martin,
We'll get
we've
there.
already talked about this. You know.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
You know that's not what I think about this film.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron Patch. Yeah, cancelled.
Not cancelled yet, but definitely put back a hell of a lot. Yeah, but I wasn't. After seeing Wonder Woman, I was not excited for that film in the slightest.
I reckon that's when they put the brakes on and went, ooh, maybe we shouldn't give this film over to.
I've never noticed before, but I like the rug in Big T's profile picture. It looks like it really holds the room together quite well.
I see. Yeah, very good.
Looks like it's been pissed onto me.
So what else in the news, gents? Or are we moving on to...
That is what happens. Hang on, can I just say that is what happens in Big Lebowski, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Just a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's a double check.
Lummy, right.
Oh,
Out
yeah.
of all the weeks where we go, hey, Lummy, what have you been up to this week? And you're like, gigging. This is the first week we haven't actually asked you. And this week, you were at Birmingham Comic Con. How was it this weekend?
Just on the Saturday, we went and did a gig there. So we were gigging. but it was good. We enjoyed it. I've got. Do you want an image? I've got an image. That's how busy it was.
Okay.
No masks.
No, he's wearing one.
No,
Oh, yeah.
some people did have masks.
He's wearing one.
Can you see? If you shut up, I'll tell you. Because the bottom right-hand corner, can you see the Django Fett? What's he called? Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
There were a black suited Mandalorian. He was cool. But that area there is where we did our show. Look there, where it's a bit bland. But that was just one end of the hall. It was actually really busy. That's us in action. Look.
Nice.
Doing
Wow,
his
you've got a really
stuff.
young member of the Discount Comedy Checkout.
Yeah, she's new.
He's the funniest one.
She's the sweariest one.
That's actually just Nat. It's just perspective.
See, Nat's so good. Nat's so good at improv. She absorbs the character.
Yeah.
That's what it is. She's
That's
become
right.
so good.
Still talking about their own stuff in here. Jungle Cruise went to Well,
we
we were
were
going to talk about that, but Webb hadn't seen it yet.
Didn't watch it, but it was
Even
brilliant.
though I had to watch it last night.
Jack Whitehall was
I
good in it
watched
as
it
well.
like 3 months ago, but I put it on and Jack Whitehall was in it, and I wasn't expecting it, and it just kind of threw me off.
He was really good in it.
Yeah.
He was really good in
No
it.
strange.
Lummy, did you enjoy Comic Con though?
Yeah, we weren't there that long because we had to come back for another gig that night. But you know, it was all right. It was good.
Did you find out anything really cool or interesting?
No.
No,
because everybody
paying attention to detail. Leave no stone unturned. We'll go to Comic Con.
Listen,
tell you nothing.
Yeah. Focus on what you're doing.
It was so busy. I was going to try and do a little video thing going around, but it was that busy you couldn't even move. So I thought, do you know what? Fuck this. I'm not doing it.
Well,
So I was going to. But we did get all access passes. That was pretty good. We were like.
Did you walk around and like backstage patches?
Also, I left the. Have you been to the NEC? You know how big it is. Right?
Yeah, to see
So
wrestling.
when we walked all the way through security, all the way got us bags checked, all that stuff to get into the place. Then I'd forgotten the microphones and the cables, so I had to walk all the way back to the car. So it must have took me an hour to get there and back. Maybe not.
Classic Lumb.
Okay, did you
So,
meet
you know.
anybody cool?
No, but we saw the queues for Anakin and Emperor were there. Hayden Christensen and Ian McDermott were there, but we did. But they had a little section off.
You saw the real cues, not the.
Oh yeah. They weren't CGI; they were real. But the
with the cues.
pardon?
You didn't take a picture of yourself with the cues.
No, I thought that would be stupid.
You could have done, and you could have said, "This is the cue to get into our gig. Look at this, guys."
It's a good idea.
We're
It's a
just
very
hanging
good
out
idea.
with the little people before our show.
Yeah. So, but they had them closed off. You couldn't even see them sat at the tables like sometimes you can't you go, oh, look, there's thing over there. John Rhys Davies was there as well, but we didn't even see him.
Interesting. And this week we have all now got our tickets to go and see Back to the Future this Thursday.
Back to the Future.
That was the future. Ghostbusters. What the hell?
Fuck are you talking about?
That coffee was really strong.
My Lord.
That coffee was really
Look at Lummy's face. You're upsetting him.
The reason I said it is because I happened to look down as I was just talking.
I'm going.
We've all got tickets for Ghostbusters Afterlife this Thursday.
Yeah, we nearly had a panic. We're looking around to try and watch this bloody movie. We couldn't
Thank
book it.
goodness for every man stepping in. So there is a thing at the moment, actually, it's worth discussing that that View Cinemas, because of licensing issues, haven't been able to get any of the times or any of the dates up for Ghostbusters.
Is that why you couldn't find the tickets?
Yeah. And it's happened throughout the country.
And also, you forget that Everyman doesn't release its film times until
the week before,
like the Friday before. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Is that the book of the new film, or is it the old one?
Yeah, it is. I'm going to spot a new for you.
Is it really? Have you read
They're all
the new
dead.
book?
They all died. No, I ain't got a new book for film. They haven't done that. They're crazy, isn't it?
They haven't novelised it.
Have
Not
you got
yet,
the
no.
Spirit Guide yet, Lummy?
No, I don't get stuff like that because I'm not a nerd.
Bullshit.
I'm not a nerd. Look at my collection of books about George Lucas. Not a nerd.
Oh, I'll tell you what book I did get this week. I should do a book review each week. I'll tell you what I got. I got The Making of the Living Daylights book. I've been after this for a while. It's very good. It's very good. I don't even have a look yet. I'm going to have a look now while you talk amongst yourselves.
You're crazy.
Jeez.
Look on your own time.
Do you know what I'll do?
I'm looking now. I got this 2 days ago. I had a chance to have a look because I've been
Brilliant. Now
gigging.
seems like the opportune time to
Perfect
do it,
time.
Lummy. Yeah,
Perfect
brilliant.
time. Just read. Stick yourself on mute. Get yourself a nice cuppa. Take it easy. Put your feet up.
Probably stoned, Nat. Probably stoned, I would think.
No, not at all. I have had a kick-ass strong coffee, though. Really, really
Well,
strong.
that's supposed to lift you up, not take you down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's...
I'm not down. I'm just very, very, very excited, Lummy. I'm sat next to Webby. Why
it
wouldn't I
depends
be?
how you ingest it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Not a nerd, he's a geek.
True. Yeah, it's not. This ain't no nerds to me show. This is geek to... What is it?
This is a pop culture chat show.
So,
so the Marvel stuff on Disney Plus. So there's a lot of new Marvel stuff coming out. Do we have any of the images of any of the logos of that, Lummy?
No.
Brilliant. Only because I've seen the She-Hulk. Now, I didn't know an awful lot about She-Hulk, but when I saw that poster, I just thought that that's how Bruce Banner was signing off his emails. Thought he was putting his pronouns at the bottom of it. She-Hulk.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
There you go. I've got a picture of that for you. You can have a quick look.
Brilliant. I mean,
yeah.
literally the thing we had on last week's show. Great. 2 weeks ago.
So thorough. No, I think both Moon Knight and She-Hulk look really good. She-Hulk's a comedy. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen anything to do with She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. So basically, She-Hulk's character, I can't remember her second name. Jennifer Watts. Jennifer something.
Probably Jennifer Jane.
Jennifer Warner. No, that's Jennifer Warner.
I always like to name my characters the same 2 letters so I could remember them.
Why couldn't you have done that with She-Hulk? I can't remember her bloody name. Anyway,
She-Hulk.
she is a lawyer, and she's the cousin of Bruce Banner.
Okay.
And Bruce Banner, at one point in the comic, gives her a blood transfusion because she's very poorly, so she gets Hulk blood. She makes a choice to stay in
like
the
that,
form,
though, doesn't she?
in the form of the She-Hulk. So people are excited. You don't see a face in the little trailer, but you see what she's going to look like. She's pretty massive, like she's really tall, really athletic, with really like green skin. You know, they haven't showed a face yet, but they've shown a couple of funny bits from the thing. They showed a bit with Mark Ruffalo in character as the Hulk, as Smart Hulk.
Oh yeah, because he's
talking to her, talking about how it's fear or anger that will turn you into the Hulk. So those are the 2 things you need to like control.
Right, can I just put it out there? I barely drink. I barely drink. Like
the Yorkshire tea.
It's the Yorkshire air.
It's the Yorkshire air. It's coming from that big smoke London.
I'm really happy to be home. But yeah,
smoke.
I barely drink. Not drunk at all. Just had a really strong coffee. In a Back to the Future month.
Yeah. So Marvel. Let's go back to She-Hulk. Looks really good. I think it looks really good. We should watch that thing later on about the what's he called? New Rockstars guy. Go watch it. He knows what he's talking about. And Moon Knight as well. Moon Knight. The only thing that troubled me about Moon Knight, and I'm not sure if you noticed this, Lummy, but is Oscar Isaac doing a really bad British accent?
Do you know what? I've not even watched the thing yet.
Probably.
Is it a trailer?
What the hell are we even doing here? I'm so sorry, audience.
I didn't know. I didn't know it went out. I'm sorry. We could have watched it live.
Out of all the Marvel stuff that's coming up, what are you most looking forward to seeing from
Moon Knight, the trailer?
Any of it? Just a trailer or something?
I'm looking forward to seeing Hawkeye. I think the more I see from that series, I'm hoping I haven't seen all the best bits, because in that 15-minute Marvel trailer there was a huge sequence. The chase.
I like that it's set at Christmas. I think that's a big selling point. I'm like, that'll be nice.
Black. Does anybody else feel like it feels like Lethal Weapon?
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that, because the best thing about Hawkeye is a character I really don't give a shit about. So if I can make it mildly interesting, I'm in.
Exactly.
I thought that about Winter Soldier and the Falcon, but
that didn't do it for you. No, but the
this is going to be funnier. It's
the relationship between him and who is the lady that he's working with in it?
The kid, Kate Bishop. That's Hawkeye. That's the Hawkeye in training.
Right. Okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I was pretty sure it wasn't like his daughter or anything like that, because I know there's that whole thing.
It's not. She's Kate Bishop. Yeah, she's a really, really well-established other Hawkeye in one of the comics. But I've never read a Hawkeye comic in my life, so
it just looks like a bundle of fun, that series, and I love the fact, like you said, that it's set at Christmas. I just think it gives it a nice hook. But it's just really funny, everything I've seen from it so far.
It would be good to be watching a Christmas show in the Christmas season at Christmas time. It's quite nice. Yeah,
rather than a disappointing Christmas movie that we'll talk about later.
All right, let's go on.
I'm looking forward to She-Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's been written really well. Looks like it's really funny, and
again, it's something that's not been done before, isn't it? It's a character that it's brand new. So let's.
Who thought 5-6 years ago we'd be sitting here talking about a show that's about to come out that's got a full-sized, full-blown Mark Ruffalo fucking Hulk in it? I mean, it's just unfathomable.
This is what we were talking about last week.
Cannot be fathomed.
The cinema. Is there a point where TV shows are going to just become the thing, and cinema not anymore?
Well, I think if they keep writing them like this, then because the last 4 or 5 films I've seen have been pretty crap, but the last few new series have been just a lot more.
We've got breaking news from Martin. Lethal Weapon 5 being directed by Mel Gibson was mentioned today. No, surely not. Surely not. I'm definitely too old for this shit, Riggs.
You know what?
The last temptation of Riggs. Yeah, it's just...
The only thing that surprises me about that is it's been. Is Mel Gibson cool again? Are we allowed to? Is he being uncancelled?
Well, he's done a lot of films, so I assume so.
What's he been in recently?
New Doctor Strange film. That's
a while ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's in Spider-Man. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Spider-Man. She-Hulk for the win. Hello.
Yeah. Oh, is that what FTW means?
Oh, Jesus, really? Yeah.
Oh, Webb.
For the win.
Webb, WTF, man. WTF.
Hang on, I'm pretty sure somebody just insulted me.
You're a fat-titted wanker. That's what it means.
All right.
And so, gentlemen, we this weekend all watch, and I think we've got slightly different opinions on it.
We're still going with comments.
Still going. Yeah, Ironheart. Yeah, X-Men resurfacing, not just the new cartoon, but X-Men '97. So they're continuing from where they left off. Original animators and the same voice cast. So that's pretty cool.
Some of the cartoon stuff actually on that Marvel trailer did look really good, and I'm not a big fan of cartoons these days.
Does anybody know what Echo is? I couldn't work out what that was.
The dolphin.
Was.
No, the one that they've just mentioned. Whoever that was, just put it in.
Mentioned.
No more coffee for you, Jesus Christ. Yeah, grip.
Wow.
All right.
I thought they'd wrapped that up. I thought they'd done it. He went to
I don't know.
Lethal Weapon 4. They had babies, didn't they? And he went to grave and went, "I'm gonna marry what's her face," and here we go. That were it.
Yeah, they decided they were both too old for this shit, and surely, exactly. Wowzers.
Okay.
Just Googled it. What theme song?
What are we talking about? What's Echo? Come on, Martin. What is Echo? It's some cartoon comic book. Is it a Marvel?
Does he mean?
I don't even know.
I don't know if he means the Lethal Weapon or does he mean the X-Men?
No, I saw it. I know what they're talking about because I saw the titles, and Echo was on there, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a Marvel property. I don't know if it's Disney or what.
Still to come this evening.
Oh,
all right. Okay, let's crack on.
Wait.
So we watched some films this weekend. We are going to have a chat about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings first, because that's not going to be as fun to take the piss out of. What did you guys? Right. So this was a film that a lot of people, before it came out, and I don't know if it's because it was a lesser-known superhero or whether it's because it was a majority, a sort of mostly Asian film, but there was a lot of people that were like, this is going to be Disney's worst ever film before it came out. And then people watched it, and I just did not hear a single bad thing about this film. Everyone I knew, including Lumb, who went to see it, just seemed to really rave about this film. And I watched it on Friday, and wow, what a film. I absolutely adored it. I know not everybody did. Somebody sat not too far away from me right now, wasn't the biggest fan.
Do you not like it?
You know what? I was underwhelmed, man. I have to say,
Do you know what? When I went to see it,
I was under it. Go on.
I just thought, what a lot of fun.
Yeah. I agree. I love the dragon. I love the dragon.
There were no I don't know. I feel stuff gets a bit bogged down now at the cinema. You're watching stuff and they've got to put like a bit of politics and things in it. And I'm watching it thinking, it's just a fun movie. I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I don't want to sound like too much of a prick, but I'm probably gonna, so I'll just get on.
You sound like one. Shut it.
I've seen quite a lot of Asian cinema. Always have done. Always enjoyed a good martial arts movie. I've saw all the Crouching Tigers and everything like that. And for me, I just felt like now Disney says it's cool to like Asian cinema, and I thought that it didn't like it. Is that what you're saying? Because I feel like the only one who didn't. Okay, so there were a couple of things that bothered me. One was the sort of
go on, Webb. We'll lay you out first before we start.
Yeah, exactly. No. You've got to have
what bothered me about it was the CGI was horrible. It was horrible. It's just like everything was filmed in front of a green screen, even if it didn't need to be. I just thought it looked shit.
Wait until you see Jungle Cruise. Oh,
this is it. Okay, so I'm just not a fan of that. And as soon as I noticed it, I was really surprised because, like everybody else, I had no expectations about this movie other than people have really enjoyed it. So I just thought, well, I'm probably going to enjoy it naturally. And I wasn't looking for a problem. But about half an hour into it, I was kind of like, when does it get good? What's going? You know what I mean? Well, I didn't really dig it. I tell you what I did like about it.
Hang on, we better say we're not going to get spoiled. What we're doing about spoilers here because
I think it's totally fine. It's a film.
I think people have seen it, haven't they? Now, if you haven't seen it, come back in 20 minutes.
It's been out of the cinema for the last 6 months, and it's been on Disney Plus now for a whole 4 days. I think we can talk about it.
Did you not like the?
Seen it? Tune out for 5 minutes or so.
Go and watch it, and then watch this review on catch up on It's All Geek to Me over on YouTube.
But come back in half an hour for Home Alone. You don't want to miss out.
Yeah, because that doesn't matter. We can spoil the shit out of that, and you won't care.
You won't give a shit.
We'll be saving you a job.
Yeah, you'll thank us.
Shang-Chi. So what I did like about it was, I'll start with some positives. I really liked the relationship between the bad guy and Shang-Chi. His dad. Yeah. I really liked the fight sequence at the end where you figured out how Shang-Chi was going to earn the rings. Yeah, I liked that, and that was a nice touch. I liked the dragon idea, but I thought it looked really fake. I hated them standing on it and surfing it, and it just looked really fake.
Have you never surfed the dragon?
Have
you never surfed the dragon?
I have. It doesn't look anything like that. It looks when you do it looks real. When you're watching that, it didn't look real. Anyway, I felt a little bit. So at the end of one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Jack Sparrow has a fight on a mast of a ship in a rainstorm in a world.
Oh yeah.
It's that. Too fucking much. Slow down, calm down. Even I loved some of the choreography of the martial arts scenes, but again, it was ruined by CGI. Camera work that was far too fast. So maybe that's the problem. I'm old now. I'm not,
Slow down, you kids!
You can't keep up with the frame rate.
I didn't get any of that, but and your brother was saying the same thing as you, but then he watched it over the weekend on a smaller TV. I watched it on a 32-inch, and both times. And I don't know if that had any for the CGI and the graphics issue, because Dan said it seemed to make a bit of a difference to him watching it on a smaller screen. My TV is not big, and I didn't get any of that CGI issue. I watched it when I spoke to you about it. I was so shocked that you weren't just in love with this film, and that you had so many issues with it, that I rewatched it straight away again. And yeah, I noticed the CGI or the green screen a little bit more, but on my first time through, and even on the second time through, really, the story and everything else was the thing that just gripped me. My only real criticism was that first fight on the bus. I'd have liked the whole cast to have been Asian. Just be ballsy. Why throw in a white Romanian guy with a sword arm? I had a bit of an issue about that.
Can we just go? That's a really important point for me. Having seen, get me with the lots of movies I've watched, but having seen a lot of Asian cinema, I really would have preferred this if they'd have committed to it and they'd have said, this film is in Chinese, fucking read it or don't watch it. But they didn't. They do what they always did, and they were speaking Chinese to each other for 2 lines, and then they went into perfect, flawless American accents, and I didn't fucking.
Do you know what? It's funny because I
understand.
So when I watched it through the second time, I was really aware of that might happen, and actually, I think you'll be surprised if you rewatch it back, how much of it straight through the middle of the film and towards the end is still in Chinese. I think it really surprises you actually how little of it is in American, and I'm just wondering or in English. Just wondering whether you were just expecting it. Or you
We've got some more. Let's get through these comments as well while we're talking. Else we won't see them all. Shang-Chi is now a movie. I went to see him. I think it's the same about Guardians of the Galaxy at the time. Characters and loved it. Same vibes with Shang-Chi. Yeah, I'm gonna say it doesn't. He's got you on your Islander.
Yeah, to be fair, I would have just said I liked it just to make everybody's life easier because I knew this was going to happen. To be honest with you, I'm just being honest. It just didn't fucking do it for me, and I don't really know why.
That's fine. You don't have to get upset about it.
I'm not upset, mate.
Because it was too advanced for you, riding dragons.
Yeah, well
I'll tell you what.
It was brilliant, and I loved it. I was really upset when I thought it was going to have its soul out of it. Brilliant.
There you go, big team Oz, mate.
Honestly, I don't know why. Usually, sometimes if I don't like a movie, it's because of the mood I'm in. And it wasn't that this time. I wasn't in a bad mood. I was ready to watch it. I've been waiting for it to be dropped on the 12th of November for a couple of weeks. I knew it was coming. I was really looking forward to it. Just didn't do it for me. I thought it was really cheesy and a bit green screeny.
Yeah. I genuinely thought it was ballsy, and I loved it.
About,
I loved the fight.
Trevor? What about Trevor? You've not even mentioned him.
The Mandalorian, the Mandarin. You've seen it twice, dude. Ben Kingsley.
Oh, Ben Kingsley. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No. I was a bit like. Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed that, but it was a bit sticky at times for me.
I felt
funny. I liked it.
He was all right in it, but I couldn't work out why one of our most lauded actors can't really do a Liverpool accent.
Oh
Ben
but
totally lost touch. Got
a few images there. There you go.
The fight between Shang-Chi and the guy who trained him, that character on the right hand side there, was awesome. In the building site, when you had the projections on the building, it just looked awesome. Some brilliant camera work.
What did you think of the ring?
Great.
What did you think of the ring?
Loved it. I loved it. Honestly, I genuinely thought this film was brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I wouldn't really. I liked it when they got to the place and all the weird animals were there, and one of them had no head. That animal with the wings and no head. That was pretty cute.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just.
What about you, Lummy?
I'm not
What did you think of it?
Martin said it helped dig Iron Man 3 out of the hole. It dug Mandarin.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Now they've gotten really good at that.
That's why I liked that Ben Kingsley thing, though. I thought it worked really well.
They've gotten really good at fixing mistakes through other films. My brother said that he didn't like the connections to Doctor Strange. That was one of the things I did like about it.
With Wong. I thought that was awesome. I loved that fight as well.
Bringing Abomination back, who's going to be in She-Hulk, who's touted to be Tim Roth in She-Hulk, full-on massive Abomination. I mean, come on, that's pretty cool.
I did love that fight, though, with Wong, where it was like, okay, you want to see what it's like, and he just goes to punch him, and he just puts the ring up there, and it comes up. Punch. Oh, it's brilliant! It was really fun. I thought it was great.
Yeah, that was all right.
I liked the humour in it all the way through. I thought, what was the name of the actress who's his best friend in it?
Aquafina.
I thought she was great.
Oh, them two together, I thought were great. Honestly,
They were sweet together. It wasn't anybody's fault, man. I don't know. There were beats missing for me personally.
Had you missed the hype before the film and watched it cold? Would you think that would have changed your enjoyment of it?
No, because I didn't believe the hype. You know what I mean? Like right now at the minute, for example, I'm hearing that The Eternals sucks, right? Except for when you hear a fan talk about it. When you hear people that actually like comic books watch this movie, they fucking love it. So again, it's like,
same.
You know, I don't know what a true fan of the Shang-Chi comic book thinks of this movie. I know what I'm told. I know what the Asian market thought of it, and I know what everybody else thought of it. But I don't know
what did the Asian market think about it. I haven't heard.
They accepted it really well, apparently. Right. Yeah, because they're struggling in China, don't they? The Disney, because they're always culturally.
But then that makes me think that if the Asian market doesn't have an issue with what Disney have done with Asian culture within this film, then maybe no one else should.
Yeah, well, it's up to them, really. It's not for me to say.
Yeah. Totally.
But what I meant was, I don't need Disney's permission to like a.
So somebody go, this is relevant.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? I've been with that. Just because they tell me it's okay doesn't mean that, you know, I have to swallow it.
Martin actually agrees with Webby on his Eternal comment. Oh, God help me.
I've heard this as well, guys.
Disclaimer, mate.
I don't know if anybody in the comments has seen Eternals. I've not.
I was listening to the Tell 'em Steve Dave guys the other day who all went to see it together. So that's Walt Flanagan, who's a huge comic book fan, writes comic books. Brian Johnson writes comic books. Q from Impractical Jokers, big comic book fan. They all went to see it, having heard exactly what we've heard of it, and they all came out just being like, "Wow, that's a great film. The special effects are brilliant. Maybe could have done without the love story. It's about 40 minutes too long, tiny bit too woke for their liking. But other than that, they were like, effects are great, story's great, brilliant film." So. Yeah, I've been looking forward to it, and also our friend Zavi's in it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got to see it anyway because we've got brother in it. We've got one of our geek brothers in there. But you know, it's interesting because Walt Flanagan, incidentally, fed Kevin Smith's comic book interest.
Yeah. When they were kids.
So he talks a lot about comic books and his influences and stuff, and which ones he liked. But if it wasn't for Walt Flanagan, I don't think
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I don't think there would be as we know him as a director.
Yeah,
but I mean,
absolutely.
You know, part of me goes back to something Bill Hicks said a long time ago. I don't know if you remember this bit where he's on about going to see. I went to see that movie, Basic Instinct. This is how old this joke is. Basic Instinct. They said I went to see it, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what I've been told about this movie is like, oh, is it too sexual? Is it too this? Is it too that? And I thought to myself, it's a piece of shit. It really ain't worth debating. It's not worth it. And that's how I feel about this movie. I'm like, it doesn't matter whether I liked it or didn't like it or everybody else in the world liked it. To me, it falls into that. It's just what it is. It's a piece of shit. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Strong words.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it a go one day and I'll enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe I need one of Richie's strong coffees first.
I guess as well, when I saw it, first film back at cinema as well. So after the.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. Relieved to be breathing in the fresh air again.
Fresh COVID. I love the smell of COVID in the morning.
How many times have you seen it, Lummy? Did you just watch it at the cinema? Have you seen it on?
I've seen it 20 times now. No, I've seen it once. I just watched it once. Just once.
I think it's only fair that you watch it 10 times, one for each ring.
I loved the fight thing with his aunt, and I loved the fight between his mum and dad when they first met. I thought that was really cool. I was a little surprised that it makes total sense that his sister went to then close down her dad's company, the gang of the 10 Rings. But in my head, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if she ends up, because there was that link between her and the dragon. It'd be good if she ended up being the protector of their mum's village. And that's kind of what I was watching. I thought, oh, that's where she's going to go. But it totally makes sense that she would then go back into that kind of crime world, because that is her background anyway, isn't it? That is her upbringing.
And,
Yeah.
you know, going forward, Shang-Chi's going to need an enemy, so we may as well make it his sister.
Yeah.
I thought she was good. I thought she was really
She was
good as a
excellent.
sister.
She was
Really,
excellent.
yeah, I didn't have a
The fight
problem with
between
her
them
at
was
all.
brilliant.
Didn't have a problem with any of the cast, really. It was just something about the mechanics or the chemistry of the film that didn't do it for me.
All right.
But yeah, yeah. It was
Speaking of mechanics of films, are we moving on, or are we?
Well, I've
move
got a quick
on.
question before we move on.
All right, go on.
So, second Shang-Chi film. Or, okay, when are we next going to see Shang-Chi? Are we going to see him in Doctor Strange 2? Is that the next time we're going to see him? Or are we going to see him in Spider-Man?
Spoiler alert. I know we talked a lot about the movie, but spoiler alert, one of the end credit sequences, Shang-Chi is having a meeting with Wong and Bruce Banner and Captain Marvel, and they're all talking about what the ring's made of and where it came from, and there's no substance like it in the galaxy, and Captain Marvel knows because she's fucking looked.
Okay, I missed that
her.
completely.
Also, they're talking about Bruce Banner's back to his normal self as well, aren't they?
Yeah, and he's got and he's still got the sling on from when he used Thanos' glove. So in the She-Hulk trailer, he doesn't have that sling on, because we're trying to piece together where the timeline of things are.
Or way earlier, do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess She-Hulk could be set before Hulk ever put Thanos' glove on. It could be set just before the blip.
No.
I don't know. Either that, or like Richard said, he's fully recovered from the burn into the arm, and it's all healed.
Well, when's She-Hulk coming out? Is it coming out? Well, no, because it's got to be coming out before the next Shang-Chi film.
I'll tell you, I'm not sure. I think Shang-Chi, there's a strong chance he could appear in the Multiverse of Madness, because they've connected him to Doctor Strange as well. Or in the Marvels, the Captain Marvel movie.
What about Spider-Man? Is there any chance he could appear in that? If Doctor Strange is appearing in that, then maybe we're going to see a little glimpse of Shang-Chi in that as well.
Maybe. But, you know, it's not a matter of when, is it? They will put him in something.
I'm looking forward to it. I loved it. I think it was great. I was a little underwhelmed with their suits when they were gifted these dragon skin suits.
See, maybe it's just the like chalk and cheese thing, because I liked that.
See, no, I expected when you then saw them in the suits that they were going to look better on them, but I was like, they just look like a sequin t-shirt.
You know, I always had trouble drawing the suit. I tell my writers and my artists, hey, what would be a neat suit for this character? And they'd say, we don't know, Stan.
Thanks,
I
Stan.
love where his stories go to. I love the fact that you're like, okay, I genuinely want to. Okay, yeah, cool.
It's finished.
Awesome.
That's how his story finished.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so gentlemen, we hit and a bit of a miss with Nathan for Shang-Chi, but a film that what's not to love.
Oh, hang on. Black Panther for 2 point. No, it's actually. I think the actress has injured herself
with COVID.
No. I think she had an accident on set. Sure of it.
COVID.
No.
Any other comments for me before we move on?
No. That's it.
Oh, lovely.
So, waiting for our next review of.
Well, it's that festive time of year, folks. People have started putting their trees up. A couple of wreaths have been going up on doors around my neighbourhood. Been having a bit of a Bailey's in my morning coffee. Not today, though, gentlemen, in case you ask.
Morning coffee. That tells you a lot about what Richie's got to do all day long.
Twice. True. But it's that time of year where we're going to start to watch a few more festive films each week as we get closer to Christmas. And what better way to start the festive season with a remake of an old Christmas classic?
What better way
Home
to start
Alone.
the festive season than shitting on a Christmas classic?
So, Home Sweet Home Alone.
Okay, everything you need to know about this movie you can be told in that fucking poster.
Yeah.
Yes, that kid really is that horrendous. Yes, he is that obnoxious. I mean, flipping heck. I tried to write notes as we went through this movie, right?
I've got some.
Good Lord, that's a lot of notes. I gave up an hour in. I actually wrote, this movie's, an hour from the end. I looked at the time and I said, I actually wrote on here that this film's still got an hour left. I can't think, I'm running out of adjectives to describe other than awful. Like, I need another word to replace awful. I've been through them all. So, do you know what? I'm going to tell you a couple of good things about this film. How about that?
All right, cool.
Oh, hang on, one sec. We got a bit of extra stuff there about. Oh.
Okay.
So that explains it. Well, there we go. Here we go. This is the end of the show. Grabs popcorn. Wait a minute, Matt. No spoilers, Martin. No spoilers.
And that is our review for.
Go on, Webb. Right.
His review for the original, isn't it?
All right, Webb, you're up first. Come on, Webb. You're up first. Go on then.
No,
okay, I'll tell you a couple of good things, right? The snowball gags, they both made me laugh, man. The first one made me laugh.
Did you feel a bit dirty for laughing at them, though?
I went, oh, God. And then what's worse is they immediately did the same joke again and it got me again. Yeah. It was better the second time round and it got me the second time round. Yeah. So
should we talk? What about? Should we talk about who's in it? Let's.
All
right. Okay. There you go. Right. So this is really your main trio, isn't it? Who are in it?
It's weird how the storyline for his mum is relegated to a weird sort of
put that picture back up again, Lumb.
Beeline sort of quest.
Point out what is the point in Rob Delaney's gap between his chin hair and his chest. They may as well have just kept it going. It looks weird.
I think he probably shaves that bit. Because it's tight.
Now I did notice in this film when he had his sleeves rolled up, this guy's got hairier arms than Robin Williams, man.
Has he?
Yeah, nice. Impressive testosterone level.
I was too busy lost in the holiday magic to notice that.
Do you know what? I have to say, Rob Delaney was the saving grace of this fucking movie. He was a saving grace. He was all right. I don't hate him. I still like him afterwards, despite what he had to work with. And then today, my brother told me that he'd done not my brother, but Rob Delaney had done an interview in the Guardian.
Done your brother? What?
No, I was going to say. My brother told me that he'd done an interview in The Guardian, but I meant Rob Delaney did, not my brother. Because why would they want to talk to my brother? You know, no offense, but he's a nobody. Fucking, he's not famous. Anyway, and they were saying to him, so in the nicest way possible, the questions were so well phrased. What I felt the interview was trying to say was what possessed you to make this fucking movie. But they did it in such a nice way. And Rob Delaney was like, you know what, man? I read the script and I liked it, and I just thought, I'm just gonna go for it. I don't hate him for it. I think, fair play to him. Got cast in a movie. He wasn't the problem with it.
No.
We got some more. Daniel. Hey up, Daniel. You all right? Give her all spoil. Never had any of that gear. Just sticks and stones. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the problem with this movie fundamentally is there's no bad guy. The bad guy is the kid, pretty much. So, if you're trying to watch that film with a kid, how is your kid go? Which side is your kid going to root for?
No, wait. The kid's set up to be the bad guy. And it's supposed to have stolen the doll. That's what the plot's like. If anybody hasn't seen this, we're saving you a lot of time. We'll be quicker than the film is to watch. So.
All right, Lummy, give a brief summary of the film.
Right. Okay. So it starts right. The so-called burglar couple. Who are the entire film it's about them basically, which was very odd at the start. They're selling the house because they can't afford, because the guy's got no job anymore. He's lost his job. So they're having to sell the house.
The cloud, his job's become
yeah. So but he's got a doll collection upstairs that one of them's worth $200,000 on eBay apparently. But the little kid stops for a piss at his house. The kid with glasses, whatever.
It's an open house. You just don't go to strangers' houses and start pissing.
So looking around, and Mum texts him because he needs a piss, and she texts him to the house and says, "You can go in here. We'll pretend we're buying the house." Talks about the dolls, what's worth, and the kid. It looks like they make you think the kid has took the doll as a bit of a revenge because he won't give him a can of fizzy pop. It is that shit. And then the couple decide that this kid's nicked the doll, and they go and try and get it back, and that's why they start burgling his house. But we're bang on saying they were going to be out to be good guys. They weren't going to just be burglars. We said that weeks ago.
You've got a clear message in Home Alone, the originals, which is that a burglar who you don't like will get his comeuppance, whereas a couple who've been unfortunate enough and been robbed by a little kid and are losing the house and going through some shit. It's not the same when you set them on fire because they're just normal fucking people.
Yeah, you actually feel sorry for them. Then that doesn't work.
God. Yeah.
It
So,
doesn't
not
work.
only that, not
But that's the thing. You feel more sorry for that couple than the kid.
yeah.
And it doesn't work with slapstick. The point of slapstick is that it's that. That's why Tom and Jerry works, because all the bad things happen to the cat.
Yeah,
and
all
the bad things happen to Wile E. Coyote. That's why it's funny. That's why we enjoy the 10-ton weight landing on his head.
And correct me if I'm wrong. In this movie, this kid doesn't redeem himself at all.
No.
Kevin does. Kevin robs from a shop, and then he feels bad about it. Kevin goes to church and talks to some old man and learns that the guy next door is not a murderer, is actually just a lonely old man. Kevin redeemed himself constantly all the way through this film.
That he wished that his parents weren't there.
This kid
they came back.
This kid doesn't even fucking get the screen time to explain anything.
None of them. But this is the point, and this is what Rich briefly touched on. The lady who's playing the mother, she's hardly in it. You got no empathy for her at all whatsoever.
Trying to make her way home. Yeah,
and then when they reunited at the end, she comes in for a hug, and it's the frostiest hug you've ever seen. You don't feel.
And also, there's two scenes where they shove her on a plane, and it's so odd. Yeah. And there's a guy looking at a screen. It's way too long. This
and that guy falling asleep on her shoulder and dribbling on her.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's the same guy. At one point, he's looking at a screen and there's things on for 10 minutes.
He got more story time than she did. He got a big character than she did. And the other thing is, I like Aisling Bea. I think the stand-up's good. I think she's a good actress. But it felt as though she was so focused on trying to do a passable RP English accent. Rather, because she's Irish, obviously, natively. I felt like her acting suffered for it. I've seen her; she's got much bigger and better acting chops than that, and I just think her accent really struggled.
I made a note, might help you out here. 8 minutes 16. 8 minutes 16 into this movie exactly is where Aisling Bea just decides to drop the English accent completely. And it's 5 minutes. You've heard her speak twice, and in the first one she's like, "Oh, begorrer, blimey, top of the morning," and then it's just ridiculous. Just completely drops the accent, and it stays like that. There were so many annoying things. You know the line that got me? Did you guys pick up on this line? In the background of one of the houses, as all the chaos is going on and people are running around, one of the parents goes, "Ow! I stepped on a Lego. That's the most painful thing in the world." And I was like, Jesus, do you know what I mean?
Setting that up for later when he leaves them all out on the floor.
That's the dad, though. Yeah. That's the dad, and he's never introduced him as the dad.
But was he the dad? I don't even know. I don't know. Was he?
He's the dad, and he's a bit of a prick. He's the one who's running around after the kids, trying to hit them because they've annoyed him. And then at the end, he just
there was no setup of any of that family, and it was so odd. It was
it was annoying though, Lummies. They missed some tricks because I don't know if you noticed there were these little National Lampoony things happening all the way through. Right, there's a bit where that dad, as they're trying to leave for the airport, he explains to Rob Delaney, who's just shown up, to reasonably explain that the kid's got his doll. Can we sort this out? The dad's like, "No, we're too busy going to Tokyo. The mum's already gone." And he goes over and he picks the little girl up off the snow. And a fucking shoe falls off, and it's just lying there on the thing. So he's picking this kid up and putting it in the car. The suitcase of the kid is open, so all the stuff's falling everywhere, and the shoe's falling off, and little things like that. If
that was a Chevy Chase, look, I know we had the whole thing with Chevy Chase and where his career and his personality is gone. But if that was a Chevy Chase style actor, it playing in that scene, or a John Candy, or a Dan Aykroyd playing in that scene, you know that just that one unscripted moment would have been so much funnier. Kid comes out, the shoe comes off, so he tries to pick the shoe up, but dunks the kid's head in the snow. Suitcase falls open, so he's trying to catch everything, but throws the kid into the. That could have been so funny.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a film where they made the choice to, instead of develop Aisling Bea's character, they showed her on the, like you're saying, showed her on the plane next to some bloke, and that was a scene.
His character instead.
They kept that in and took away anything.
There was just there was just nothing to it. The structure was all over the place.
Into tiny little scenes and segments, and it'd be fine as little snippets, but it did not sew together well at all.
No.
There's one. Sorry, wrong hand. There is one bit that I do you know what? There's a bit that I really liked, and then it just kind of ended. I loved the cameo of Kevin's older brother in it. That it kind of really
made. Do you know what? He actually came off all right. He was. I'd say he was the only person who actually. And I thought this is going to suck when he's in it. This is going to be awful.
You guys.
Did you know he was going to be in it?
Yeah, he's
in the trailer.
I missed that.
There you go.
Now, what I noticed about him the first time he shows up, I thought, how many eye drops have that to put in this guy to stop him looking stoned? Honestly, it looked like he finished filming Home Alone and he went and spent his check on a massive bag of weed and he's only just finished it. I swear to God. But then in the next scene he was in where he was telling you the story about how his brother now owns the company that does Home Alone.
Yeah.
I thought that was...
I like the canon of that. And I'm like, wow, you put in, like, it feels like you put in a bit of heart and thought and integrity into that moment.
It was so.
Where the fuck else was it in the film?
It was so buzz as well as he's chomping on that sandwich. He's going, "No, that's my shithead brother. He always does this. He does this every year." And he said the same thing
in the
trouser snake or something. What's he called?
No, he calls him
trout sniffer.
Trout sniffer. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. And it was so buzz, and it was like no time had passed at all, really. But it was so out of place.
There were loads of stuff that I mean. There was absolutely loads of stuff.
Can somebody explain the fucking bell ringing scene to me?
Oh, jeez, I forgot.
Do you know who's in that scene, guys? The guy who was the head bell ringer is one of the funniest fucking men on the planet. Jim Rash, the guy from Community, he plays the dean in Community. He's fucking brilliant. He was so underused. It could have been anybody in that role. I don't know what I'm thinking. There's so much
cut out
footage on the floor on the cut.
There'll be a Disney Plus extended version. I bet they'll bring it out. It'll be 4 hours long, and it'll have all the missing scenes that we were after.
Yeah, it was awful, and the fact they're having an argument, a conversation in the middle of this performance as well, and nobody says, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah. There's so much like that in it where you think this won't happen. But just going back briefly, that scene where you said he goes right to the house. What I can't stand in films is when there's an easily solvable situation. And it doesn't happen. So all he had to do was go, shut the fuck up a minute. I've lost this thing. It's worth $200,000. Let me in your house. Your kid has stolen it.
Yeah, exactly.
End of film. End of film.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been I'm sure we would have moaned about it, but
no, but all the way through that scene, that's exactly what I was thinking.
But what you need problems to stop that from happening, and there weren't stuff. There were so many bits like that where you think this guy could just walk into the house and get it back.
Right,
there were a bit where they go, we're going to go at midnight when they're asleep in the house. No, they're going to go to the house when he's supposed to be at the singing at the church, isn't he?
Yeah.
They go, we'll go to the house now, and then they drive there, and it's the middle of the day, glorious day. Then all of a sudden it's night, and you're like, how far away is that? Shit like that all the way through it.
Thinking about why don't you look after your own kids? You're spending all this time running around after this fat kid to try and get your doll back. What about your kids? They just left all these holes all over the place. Okay, I mean, this kid is so obnoxious that his own Alexa type homebot thing turns itself German just so it doesn't have to fucking talk to him anymore. Honestly, and then the bit where he's going, homebot, will you help me? And it feels like the Alexa's trying to
get right. The most important thing of this whole thing is there's no charm to the film at all, I don't think. And the first one had buckets. The first film, maybe not so much the sequel, but I still enjoyed the sequel.
And if you're in any doubt,
loads of charm to it. Brilliant.
But I mean, the original, when you watch that, right, the funniest thing is when I watched this on Disney Plus, afterwards it goes, hey, maybe you'd like to watch this big advert for Home Alone 1 with Macaulay Culkin, and I'm like, yes, I fucking would.
Do you know what?
First 10 minutes done, I went, this is...
You were talking about kids' reactions to this, yeah? You were talking about kids' reactions, yeah? My kid's reaction was 5 minutes in. He pointed at Rob Delaney and his missus and said, are those the bad guys? And I said, I don't think so, you know. And he was like, nah, can we watch the other one? I don't fucking understand this. 5 minutes in, he checked out. So they ballsed it up that much that even a kid can't really... They don't understand the concept of what's going on. It's stupid. What were I going to say about...
I've got loads of stuff on it. I mean, right, so even stuff like, do you know the bit where he put the VR headset on him?
Yeah, why didn't he take it off?
Yeah.
And also, VR doesn't work the way...
Idiot adult, I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, the Medic is such a thick character. I mean, you said he was good in it, but the character was such a thick person. It was like, what is going on. You would just go, oh, I've got a VR helmet on. You don't go, oh, I'm stood on the Grand Canyon. How did I get here? And also, even the VR wasn't accurately portrayed because he had his Santa suit on in the VR, and you think that's really not
annoyed me.
That's not how VR works.
And he was wearing the clothes.
Yeah. I mean, it was stupid. I tell you what else. You forgot about something else that were really bad. The flashbacks. Whenever Kevin had a dream, Whenever new Kevin had a dream or a fantasy about something, it was fucking horrendously acted. The bit where Ashlyn B was in the prison. Oh my God, it was awful. But you know what the worst thing is about this? If you're in no doubt who the villain is of this movie, halfway through, you're probably the perfect audience for this movie. Yeah? If you get halfway through and they're in the garden explaining that they are not bad people and new Kevin is listening to them and still decides to kick the fuck out of them.
Yeah. Can I say something?
That's because they hear the ugly little boy.
Can I say something? Can I say something as well? That kid in the film has got supersonic hearing because at one point the
supersonic hearing.
Well, they can hear everything. The kid is fucking like Superman because no matter how far somebody is away in the film, he can still hear what they're saying, pin perfect to get times, dates, when they're going to do something. You know, they're going to come back at midnight and do this. But what I was thinking of, the two people who, you know, are supposed to be the burglars, but are actually the nicest people in the film, right? They're in that swimming pool, aren't they, in the next door neighbour's garden. Mm-hmm. And thrashing about and the family sat inside, they don't hear nothing. But as soon as they get up and start quietly talking, the kid's like, woo, can hear you.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was a good reveal where they were in the wrong house. I will say that.
That was an amusing moment. My biggest the thing that troubled me the most about watching this film was all the way through, I was kind of like, oh God, I'm dying inside a little bit. I'm dying inside. And then we finished it, and I turned to my girlfriend and went, oh, geez, I'm so sorry that I made you watch that. And she turned around and went, yeah, the last 5 minutes were terrible. And I was like, what were you watching for the other 90 minutes? It was all terrible. It was awful.
God, it was so terrible. So, listen, I'm not a prick. I'm against children getting... I'm against children. No, I'm against children getting raped by bad guys, yeah? So if the whole reason So this guy... Hang on, I'm against it. You know, you might not believe it, but I am. I'm against that sort of thing. So if the whole justification that you should be on this kid's side because he's trying to stop himself getting sold into sex slavery.
Oh, yeah, no, that was...
Oh, right.
Yeah. Now, I was wondering
that's a proper premise. Yeah, I disagree with that. I totally, on board with you. But that doesn't justify...
He was getting sold to like grandmas. He were getting sold to grandmas so they could sit on a couch and feed him cakes.
It reminded me of the witches or something like
that.
Yeah.
It was totally stupid. But my point is, even that didn't make you feel sorry for this kid. That slight misunderstanding. There was no like love for that kid at all. You kind of hoped he got sold.
Okay. The other thing that I think fundamentally they got wrong with this film is that regardless of which Home Alone it is. Okay, no, actually, Home Alone 1 to 3, although we don't like the third one, you know, it's better than all the other ones that came after it. That whole sequence that Home Alone is famous for, the whole booby trap sequences, they flow beautifully. They really, really flow one into the next, and it just takes you on this roller coaster of slapstick misery. Well, whereas this one, not only did you have these two characters that you liked and you didn't want all of these bad things to happen to, none of the pranks that he played, none of the tricks that he created flowed at all into each other. And I found each one just jarred against the next one. And
you got the main bad guy, Rob Delaney, standing there in front of him, begging him not to shoot him in the face with another fucking pool ball. Like, that really hurt, kid. Please, just let me talk to you. And he's like, you know, it was just so
now, whereas if you'd had those two characters getting more irate, but within compounds of being tortured by this kid, and then that winding the kid up more, I wouldn't have had as much of a problem. I think that would have worked a lot better. But they were nothing but polite all the way through. Nothing but polite, reasonable all the way through.
Even when they're getting chased around the house and attacked by this kid, just saying, please, let us talk to you. Let us talk to you. I just want to, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what would have been better if the kid had been trying to break into their house and they were kicking the fuck out of him?
It might have been, do you know?
I would have been like, yes!
Okay, I'll try and extract some positivity out of this, right?
All
this film proves that anybody can make a fucking film. Any of us. They give these fucking people several $1 million to make this film. Oh yeah, I wonder what the budget.
I'm just gonna have a look now. Yeah,
I'm interested what the budget was because it's just no justification for it. I think they should have to give the money back to whoever they got it from.
Do you know what? As well, there were that bit. They'd already said it on the poster, hadn't there? Some holiday classic shouldn't be remade or whatever they said.
And then the dad says it.
The dad says it in the film, and you're like, "What are you doing?" He says,
"Well, that was a cleverest bit."
Yeah,
that was the
the one
cleverest
bit
bit when they were watching.
chuckle.
They were watching the new Angels with Filthy Souls, and it's some sort of Doctor Who
That was
thing.
quite fun,
That was
actually.
clever.
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
And the self-referential should remake a classic thing, but it was wasted on this, completely wasted on in this context. To give a shit about the story, I'd need at least an extra half an hour explaining something to me, you know.
I've got some here, right? If you're right, the main guy's supposed to be a computer expert in the cloud. You know, he deals with the cloud and he's sorting out everything. There's a bit in the film where in one scene,
transferring, isn't it? That's what data migration. That's what.
Yeah. So he'll know his shit. He's not going to be an idiot when it comes to computers.
You certainly know what a fucking VR headset is.
Yeah, but what I'm going to say, listen, right? She says something about him clearing his browser history. She says, "You know how to do that, don't you, honey?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, I'll. I'm sure I can figure that out." And then next minute, literally the scene after, he's telling somebody a really jargon-heavy bit of speech about the cloud, and you're like, "This what?" That's so. It's just it's all over the place.
I mean, they didn't have they can't have had a lot of faith. Okay, we all know that Disney will try and get money out of our pockets at any time, right? Yeah, so we would have gone to see this movie. So I thank Disney for streaming it and, you know...
No, we wouldn't have gone to see it.
No, we might not have done, but some of them might have tempted. You never know, yeah?
No.
Now, they didn't have a lot of faith in it, did they? I think they knew that people were going to be scratching. There's no way they could have sat in a boardroom and watched this movie together and gone, yeah.
I stick by, I think... They've made this to keep the rights for the film or something. I just don't understand why they made it. You know, it happens a lot, that, doesn't it? You know, the rights are going to run out. They've just bought 20th Century Fox. Maybe the Home Alone rights were like, hey, you've got a year to make another.
Did anybody else notice that they kept a lot of themes from the music of Home Alone, but they put them in the wrong scenes?
Yeah.
So the bit that's supposed to make you feel emotional was in the wrong bit, and the like slapsticky...
If there's about clean rounds to show you can clear it, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
And also, what's weird about this is out of the last year of us doing these shows and retrospectively reviewing films, sometimes, you know, several films a show, it's the first time I've never been able to find out what the budget was of the film.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's the first time.
Okay, can I just read you my last two notes,
anything.
right? My last two notes for this movie. The rest of all just come off the top of my head. My last two notes, right? I put, there's an hour left at this point. There's an hour left. I've given up making notes. And then my last thing I've put, and I mean this, I swear by it, fuck me blind if this isn't the genuinely worst, most baffling, aimless piece of shit film I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
strong words, Webb. Strong words.
Not even strong words. They're mild.
Go on,
I've got some more stuff. I mean, what do you want? I mean, how many dream sequences were there in the film?
None.
Where fucking 10 of them at least.
None, but yeah.
No, in this one, you know, they were like every 5 minutes they're saying, "Oh, is that going to happen?" And there's some kind of dream, like you said earlier about the poor acting and all that shit. The music. So they did have some John Williams music that they've clearly paid the rights to. They even used that in the wrong. They used the theme for the Wet Bandit guys a bit. Nothing to do with the burglar bit. I'm sure. I was like, what? It's like, oh god, it was
That's
just
what I mean.
like,
It didn't feel right because it was all in the wrong scenes. It was chopped up.
yeah.
A mess. What else you got, Lumb?
Well, I've said about no charm. Most of the characters act like douchebags all the way through our put, but that was early on. I wrote that.
Again, his brother and his wife. When she was coming down the ice, when she first got out of the car, that was almost funny.
Yeah,
like the brother was almost good, but he wasn't in it enough to justify why he was in the fucking film. It had nothing to do with the plot.
No.
It was just, oh, let's stick a bit of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation in here as well, just to confuse you even further.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's disjointed in it with everything really. But
the film didn't know what it wanted to be. It's like somebody had told somebody about this film Home Alone, and that person who'd never seen Home Alone before then went, "Cool, that sounds like I'm going to go and make that film."
Yeah.
Without
also
ever having seen any John Hughes or anything like that, or it's just.
I also can't believe, right, this is set now, that there'd be no way that somebody could not get in touch with that kid, and that kind of gets skirted over, as we say. It's like
I quite like the fact that they had no home phone line, any landline.
Well, how many devices do you have that connect to internet, mobile phones and iPads and?
Like the obvious thing to do, if you go to break into some kid's house to steal your doll back and you accidentally figure out they've got a German grandmother, the thing that makes most sense is to go home and learn German. The time you got. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, that bit where he came in, putting the coding wrong on the alarm.
Oh my god!
But that spike was ridiculous. Spike on this. What the hell is that about?
Yeah. Oh my
god. But it's on you. Yeah. He had the sense not to be involved with it all, didn't he? He even went on his Twitter and said everybody's been asking me.
Oh no! Do you know what would have been amazing? A brilliant cameo for Culkin is if we just watched the film that we've just watched, and then it just cuts to a cinema, and it's Macaulay Culkin as an adult sat watching it in the cinema, and it cuts to him, and he's like, and then it ends.
Jesus Christ!
That would have been brilliant.
It just reminded me of the end of this film. If this isn't bad enough for you guys, right? At the end of the film, inexplicably, 1 year later.
Yeah,
you see the burglar couple sitting down to the Sunday dinner with new Kevin and his mum. Nobody else, none of the other family, and then their kid who can't speak. They've put a Tiny Tim in there, and the burglar's kid, or the burglar's brother's kid, can't speak, but he likes to throw things around, and he picks up the doll and he throws it. And everyone in the house all go slow motion to try and drop this doll in different ways to try and see it. It was just, and then
that was before the year. That was before the year up. They used the money to pay. But they got $200,000, didn't they? Right, for that doll. Apparently, we all know when you put stuff on eBay, it never sells for that much. Right, and then after that, they said we're going to pay for all the repairs to your house. Right. Which the kid had totally annihilated, and he's like, and pay for their house. Then he magically, in the movie land, he magically got a job then, didn't he? Because for some reason, just because he'd sold that doll and solved a bit of financial woes, he magically got this top-end job straight after.
I remember thinking, why are you paying for the house? It was their kid that was coming, and they left their kid behind.
The one thing that fell down was worth more than the entire fucking $200,000 that they even got for the doll in the first place.
I mean, the houses were massive as well. I always think that was what they always said about Home Alone 1, though, wasn't it? What does Kevin's dad do for a living? Because he's in the house.
And I've got no issues with them replicating that, because that was always the inexplicable thing about the first one.
Let me just go back a second as well. So the reason. So they get to the kid's house, right? Backtrack a little bit. They get to the kid's house. It's finally the night where new Kevin knows they're coming, so he's set all the traps up. And basically, that 20 minutes or so of watching them go through all the bad traps and all the bad booby traps and booby traps.
Booby traps.
That's what I said.
Anyway, so he leads them on this chase through all the traps, and then at the end when they confront each other, They do what they should have done in the first place and explain it. And he says, well, I'm home alone. And they're like, oh, you poor little darling.
Yeah.
Come with us then. I mean, what the fuck? Like, they didn't need to show you that 25 minutes of traps. They weren't even as interesting.
No, they weren't good.
They weren't good booby traps.
Also, did you see the size of his plan on the blackboard that he wrote up, right? I'm thinking, the thing was giant, much taller than him. I'm thinking, he'd have to get up a step ladder to do them bits at the top, and then, go back down? Go back down. Everything were annoying me about it, everything.
Maybe he had a long stick with a bit of chalk on the end. And he was
maybe.
No, it was a truly, truly awful film, and I
feel sorry for this kid, man. He's gonna get some
think he's
fucking
brought it
hate
on
for
himself.
this. That's not his fault.
No, they won't blame him. They'll blame the people who decide to make it, the producer.
And how can the kid from Jojo Rabbit, who was pretty good in that film, be so shit in this movie? It's not his fault. It's the director's.
No.
Right?
Well, this is right, and also I'll say this about it. And we've had this. We've had this chat before about films, right? There's a certain way with these comedy films where people are either in on the joke or not in the joke, in the acting style, if you know what I mean. So all these people were playing it for laughs, right?
Yeah.
And it was really obvious that to me. Whereas you get other films, we've talked about this before. I'm not going to talk about fucking Ghostbusters again because we always do on the show, but it is a good example. All that Ghostbusters 2016, they were all playing it for laughs, going, if I keep talking, this is going to be hilarious. This is the gag. Or you have the other version where they're doing it and it's set in a real reality-based thing, where people are having normal conversations. Like that bit, what was in the trailer where he's on about being in the prison and saying, I don't want to get got. And she says, nobody's getting got tonight. It was just delivered so weirdly. I was like, nobody talks like that.
But again, what we said about the John Hughes addresses to camera, it's like he does those with heart, and there's a methodology and a reason for doing those. Whereas they would, again, it's like they were just told about. And sometimes he just addresses the camera, and they're like, okay, we'll do that as well. Without actually thinking about the integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just talk about one thing, right, about the original that we do like? Whoever is on our thread who comments that keep saying they don't like Home Alone, right? I understand.
It's a therapy session on the film room. This is it's a therapy session on the. Yeah, you're right. Right. But it can be both, Big Timo. We're saving you a job here by telling you.
30 years, right, to get used to those cringy, horrible moments in Home Alone, and there are some. I made my family disappear.
I made my family disappear.
Yeah, there's a couple of them in that, but we accept it because we love it. That's got 30 years on this, But where they should have put Kevin in this movie, is right at the end of the movie when everything's finished. You discover Kevin is now a fat, balding man sitting in his office of the home security company. He could have helped this kid at any minute by pressing one button, but he didn't. He just sat back watching the chaos unfold, smoking a big cigar, like, meh. Yeah, that would have been fine, but it was the wrong McAllister in there. They needed a Kevin to tie it all together.
But no, I don't think anything could have saved this.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, so Dan Mazer is the director of it. Sorry, I'm just being able to look. I found an article
trying to find an explanation.
Well, no, I have actually. So there's an article in Forbes where they're interviewing him, and it's why director Dan Mazer wanted to make Home Sweet Home Alone. And originally, his agent got in touch and said that Disney were making a reboot of it, and did he want to write the script? And he was like, not at all. And then his daughter really got into Home Alone, and it was at that point he decided, my daughter will never forgive me if I don't direct the next Home Alone film. And I'm reading that article thinking,
I think she would.
I think his daughter's never going to forgive him for trashing such a priceless original.
And now I've got to sit down every time you bring it up. I've got to tell you how I liked it. You didn't deserve all that shit you got in the press.
No, I don't know.
Bloody hell.
Very odd, very odd. Well, anyway, the other funny thing, there was one more funny thing, right? You know the bit where he went to the house and the kid had left, what had he left out for him? A glass of something and a donut or something.
Oh, yeah, for Santa and
right.
Rudolph.
How many, it said something for Santa, blah, 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 and you were dressed as Santa. How many people would eat or drink something that had been left on a porch?
Yeah, true.
And he went, but Mr. Dumb Character just went,
because in that world where you're that idiotic, Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was awful. But for some
Yeah.
reason, again, I don't hate Rob Delaney. I think, look, I've got a soft spot for that guy. I've heard his story. I know he's been through a lot, and I don't hold it against him at all.
It's not their fault. They're just actors like accepting a job.
For taking that big film role. I don't hold it against Aisling B. I think it's a shame they decided to cut her out of this fucking movie completely. It might have made more sense if they'd have left even. Why did they leave the worst of the worst stuff in? Because the stuff they cut out can't have been as bad as what they left in.
I mean, it's a film. There was no heart in it at all.
Yeah.
There was no heart, no soul.
And they were trying to force that, weren't there? There were so many scenes where they're trying to force it. And like the thing at even the flight desk in the original one, compared to this, she goes up at this and goes, my son's on, I've left him at home. And the woman behind the thing's going, I don't give a fuck. And you're like, what?
Hated that character.
Yeah. It's like, why have they made that into
as well? Actually, that was a scene where that was a terrible performance.
Really weird choices.
Some really, really bizarre choices in it, and it just kind of makes you wonder, who is this film for? It's not for kids. It can't be for fans of the original movie.
No, I'd say it is for kids. It's trying to aim at kids, isn't it? Going, this is a new.
It doesn't work. We've got a kid, Webby. Yeah. We got a kid who just sat and watched it within 5 minutes. Went, I don't know who the bad guys are.
I'm not invested in this.
It's not. Anyone who works with kids,
and luckily,
should have picked that up. Anyone who's got kids who was involved in that film should have picked that up.
Because I've watched a lot of films, so you watch a trailer now and you kind of know if you're going to like the movie or not. So. Luckily for me, I was able to straight away understood what my kid meant, and I knew where the film was going to go, and I had a feeling that it wasn't going to get any easier to explain because it's a bad story. And I thought, fuck it. So we put Home Alone 2 on instead, and we watched the entire thing, and he pissed himself laughing all the way through it.
It's a brilliant film. And
he got it. He understood it. He looked at Tim Curry and he went, he looks like the Grinch, doesn't he? And I was like, he fucking does. When he smiles, Tim Curry's got a brilliant Grinchy smile.
Well, it cuts to the Grinch in the film.
It does. And Rob Schneider as well in it. It's just really...
he understood it completely. Yeah. He knew what was going on. Yeah. In fact, I went and did some cleaning while I was watching the first 10 minutes, and I went in and said, are you okay? How's it going? And he was like...
Did some cleaning, came back in and a blowtorch hit him in the face.
And he said, why the hell do you look like a chicken? When I came back in, I asked the kid how it was going. Bear in mind, 10, 15 minutes into the movie, and he said, Kevin just got on one plane and he's gone to New York, and his family have gone to another place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He understood it. That's simple.
And you turned around to him and went, I've seen this shit before. You don't have to tell me.
You don't need to tell me what happens in this film.
No, I didn't. I turned it off when we put Blade Runner on.
Explain this motherfucker.
Yeah. Come on, let's see how good you really are. But yeah, it's. But I think, like you said,
Indiana Jones.
Like you said earlier about the, the asides to camera and all that. John Hughes, like we said last time, he's worked his way up to get that privilege, hasn't he, in these films to go. Yeah. This is what a John Hughes film is. But that stuff, even though there is mistakes in them films and bits that people go, oh, that were a bit cringy and all that. But the majority of the film is so well done, you kind of let that go. Whereas this, you watch it and every time something like that comes up, you go, oh, fuck off.
Do you know what? I think those moments when they're sort of sporadic like that, I think they actually go to compliment the film and remind you what a perfect film you're watching.
But even just starting the old one after this new one finished, you were just like, oh.
Like a pair of old slippers.
But that breaking the fourth wall and addressing the audience. So can you imagine him pitching that to whoever was it Paramount that made Ferris Bueller? Can you imagine him saying, no, at this point, Ferris is going to turn around and talk to the audience? I bet you the executives went, no, he's fucking not. Not on my watch. You can't do that. That's not what... So he invented it, man.
He didn't. It's in other films before that, man.
He really utilised it well.
Yeah. It's stuff like, it's in like old 60s films that, like, what's happening? What's he doing?
5 minutes before the end.
Just realised.
Brilliant. That was worth it. I just remembered another one more stupid thing that I didn't make notes on. Right, so between the two films. So in the first film, Catherine Hara's on the phone in the bedroom, right, talking to somebody while all the chaos is going on around downstairs. She's in there talking on the phone, and Kevin comes in and says, Mom, she's like, I'm on the phone. In this film, there's chaos going on. She's stood in the middle of it all on the phone. You'd go to a quiet place. You go to a quiet room when you had to go on the phone. Yeah. It's just
there wasn't a likable character really, including Rob Delaney. There wasn't really you wanted to like him and his wife.
Talk about like Kevin's dad in the first movie is barely in it, right? But for some reason you still like that guy.
Yeah.
What screen time he does get, he uses. He has a couple of lines of dialogue that really add to the plot. This fucking I mean, she may as well have been single.
Yeah, well I thought she was.
Question mark.
She does come across as like a single mum throughout the film. The way that she's shown to us throughout the film, to the point where you're never actually truly introduced to, hey, this is Kevin's dad.
It's proof that he's in the pudding.
Is the kid called Kevin in the film?
No. We're calling him New Kevin.
New Kev.
Kevin 2.0. Even to the point where, right at the end of the film of the original Home Alone, Kevin and his mum get reunited, and Kevin goes, "Well, what about the other family?" And she goes, they didn't make it. They went and they walk in the door. At this point in the film, in the new film, they don't even mention them. They're not even worth bringing up again.
They're not even in the fast forward a year later. Yeah.
But that's why I'm sure it's not his dad, because he's not even in that.
No, his entire family, as far as we know, stayed in fucking Tokyo, apart from his mum. Maybe they just chose that moment to abandon this obnoxious kid. I think inexplicably sticks by him for no.
I think she was a single mum. I don't think it was his dad. Okay. I genuinely don't.
Have a look now.
I'll take your word for it, mate. I don't know.
I think you're wrong.
All right, have a look.
But the other thing is, why would you go on an earlier flight? Why would you not travel with your wife?
Yeah. So Blake.
You haven't even given them surnames.
Hang on. The thing about travelling together, there were no room on the plane. That's the same as the first. That's the same as the first film. That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to find Archie Yates. Oh no, Peter Holmes. It's not his dad.
Told you.
And no, wait.
Don't want to wait.
Okay, yeah, I don't think it is that actually.
I don't want to wait. I'm out of here. See ya.
I don't think it does. You might not have that. We'll find out. Anyone else got anything else to say about Home Sweet Home Alone? Do we have any more comments about it?
I think everybody's gone. No, they haven't. Webby, thought you were going to say Robin turned to you. So keep changing filthy animal. That would have been good.
Luckily, he already leaves cars all over the place. So the thing is, you know, the slip on the micro machines in the first movie. We do that all the time, and and that's our fault if we do that, because we know to expect cars on the floor. That's not his fault. He's 4. You know what I mean? So we have to constantly watch where we're walking. But yeah, I mean, flipping heck. Only thing else I got to say is, unless you're a glutton for punishment or you're really, really stupid and you just like really terrible movies, give this one a miss. Treat yourself to the first 2 again if they're your kind of thing.
I mean, they are on there as well, aren't they? It's not like you can't watch the first 2. They're on Disney Plus.
You know what I hate about a Christmas movie as well is when it feels like it's not filmed at Christmas. Yeah? So you've got all that fake potato chip snow that they do, and the streets are completely bone dry, but there's little bits of snow in the garden. You know what I mean? This felt like the fakest of the fake snow ever, man. I mean, good Lord. And it wasn't even that, didn't seem that cold yet when he soaked her with water. Her hair froze like instantly.
Yeah.
It was just totally stupid.
Although I did quite like the stupid hairstyles like that. It did remind me of a competition in Norway where the idea is to have the wackiest frozen hairstyle. I like that, you know. But yeah, no, it wasn't his dad. It was, and actually, when you think about Peter Holmes as Blake, it's the Uncle Frank character actually, and that does work. So the guy that I thought was his dad is that Uncle Frank character.
No, because there was another character in it. There was another character who was that character who went to the toilet. Do you remember? For some hilarious toilet humour. When they said, "How long have you been in there?" That was the character because he's from SNL. Loads of these people were on. The writer was an SNL writer who did it.
Well, in the cast guide I've looked here, it says Peter Holmes as Blake. Every Home Alone movie needs an Uncle Frank, that relative whose energy is just too loud and awful.
Yeah, but Uncle Frank, again, same as Kevin's dad, in that original movie, he's got barely nothing to do, but you know who he is, you know what kind of character he is, you know what to expect from him from dot one, from as soon as he speaks. And they did not get any of that across in this.
Didn't set any of it up. None of it.
Nobody's introduced properly.
I mean, think about it. Even down to the point where they're trying to pay the pizza man in the first one.
But that's where you find a lot of the information out, though, isn't it? When the pizza guy comes, that's where you introduce.
She goes, "Frank, you've got money, haven't you?" He goes, "Traveller's checks." He's tight. You don't want to pay. You know, he sets himself up as that curmudgeon. And he doesn't take a lot to do that, as you've just said there. You know, you can do that in literally a couple of lines, or you know the way they are, or whatever. But they just didn't bother. The first movie and copy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would have been less upsetting if it was an updated, copied version of this, rather than trying to tweak it so you weren't sure what the hell was going on. It just really, really confused me.
Frozen hair. I saw that. Yeah,
that'll live in your memories forever, Mandy.
Well, gentlemen, I think we've probably talked enough about Home Sweet Home Alone. I think we've probably actually done the film more justice than the film did itself. Is there anything that you would like to say, either of you, about the film?
I think we've done a service here, because if people watch this and they don't watch the film, we've done them a service, because it wasn't half as long as the film.
We've saved you all 95 minutes.
Yeah,
of pain. Give us anything back in return. That's fine.
And whilst reminiscing about a timeless classic, the original one.
And part of this, you've got to remember, part of the reason we watched this is because we knew what to expect, and we thought we'd challenge ourselves to sit through what we were pretty sure was going to be a terrible movie. So if by any chance you're that kind of person that does like to watch a shit movie so you can go, wow, then fair enough. You couldn't get a better shit movie than that. For
right. There is one thing that I thought was very brave of the filmmakers, if anything. Let's leave it on a positive. Right? When they went back to the house after all the destruction and they opened the door, I thought, this fucking house is going to be all spick and span, back to normal. And it wasn't. It was still all a shit tip. And I thought, that is the kind of thing where they would, even in the first films, it's all back to normal, isn't it? When
Lummy, if that's your only compliment of this entire film, that's pretty damning.
Also, Lummy, then they ruined it instantly because the kid went, "I can explain everything."
Mary Poppins.
He didn't explain anything, and it just ended. Oh, fuck me. Yeah.
No, sir, what day is this? It's Christmas Day, new Kevin. Might be the biggest goose in all of fake Christmas Town.
Oh, geesh.
God, the fake snow looks fake beautiful this time of fucking year.
we should. Well, we can't do that. We're going to say we could dig out some of these, these Hallmark Christmas films and watch some of them. But
there is a Hallmark channel somewhere.
Yeah. It's full of Christmas films. It's crazy.
They're on Channel 5 at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
But the only trouble with that is you've got to assume everybody who's watching has seen them all. That doesn't work, does it?
Yeah.
And we want to watch
the
them
Christmas
ourselves.
Chalet was on the other day.
Thanks, Big T. Yeah, we do it for you.
We do this shit so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, what are we going to do for the Christmas show in December? Because we've spent us Home Alone.
Again, that's probably something a discussion we probably have.
Let's talk about it now.
Great. Well, we've got a couple of big shows coming up in the next month. So we have got our 1 year anniversary, a 1 year birthday of It's All Geek to Me.
When is that? When is that?
It's the 12th of December was our first show. And so going to be around about then, and then we got a Christmas show not long after that as well. So we need to we've got a lot of things coming up, but we need to kind of really plan those shows.
Die Hard. Here we go.
That'd be good. Right, well, gentlemen, it's a big week this week because this fella is getting married in a few days' time. You're probably not going to be here
Sorry,
for next
ladies.
week. Yeah, he's off the market, ladies. But this means you're probably not going to be here for next week's show. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm going to have a day off.
So Lummy and I will be back with next week's
I'm
show.
not coming.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I'll be back with next week's show.
I'm getting over not being invited to a wedding that Monday.
Do you know who is invited to the wedding, Lummy? This little fella here. He's
son of a bitch. Look at me.
I'm going to marry him.
I'm going to get married. So,
right, me here.
Webby, is there anything you want to say? I'm going to see people for 2 weeks?
Got congrats.
Yeah, have a lovely time.
Have a lovely wedding.
Hang on, I was going to say before we go, right? Are any of the other sequels to Home Alone from 2, so 3 to 5, however many they did?
This is the 6th
Any
film,
of them as bad as this? Because I might challenge myself to try and.
Number 3, right? We had that at the cinema when we worked there, and did you see it when you were there?
Bad as 4 and 5.
3 isn't. It's about. I think it's about a toy that gets some jewels hidden inside it. And,
I think I've seen
that's
that
right.
one.
Yeah.
And the kid has chicken pox, and his mum has to leave him home to go to work.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
so-
nowhere near as bad. It's
Is it that
nowhere near as
really
bad.
impossibly cute kid with
Yeah.
the big shiny?
They tried
70s
to
hair.
replicate Macaulay Culkin.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that film's all right. All right. It's not the first 2. The first 2 are classics and they're brilliant. The third one's
But then-
classical.
and
4
what
and
the
5 are terrible.
What I don't even know what the 5th one is. The 4th one I thought
can't
was
even
the
remember. I think they go to Miami Beach and
like Police Academy.
yeah.
No, there is one that's called
I'll watch
Home Alone. Something Home Alone. I don't know. Exodus.
That reminds me of National Lampoon's Vacation 2, where they go to the island, and you think, why is this anything to do with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, look, we'll have a chat about what we're going to do for next week's show. You're going to be married next time you see everyone. You're going to be Mr. Webb. Lummy, is there anything you want to
Mr.
say?
Webb.
Mr. Webb.
Yeah,
Mr.
Yeah, that's how it works. It's massive.
Yeah, well, I'd like to say I've found out where the wedding is, and I'll
Yeah,
see
you
you suckers
have.
there.
Honestly, as I start my best man speech, I hope you just burst through the door and be like, "You've got it all wrong. I'm the best man," and just crack out an awesome speech, Lummy.
By the way, the one I was thinking of that is a Home Alone is Home Alone: The Holiday Heist. I think that's technically number 5, and it's got
right.
Malcolm McDowell in it from Clockwork Orange.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Webb, if anything happens and you get let down on the big day, by certain people.
I'll marry you instead, big.
No, I'm here. I'm here
Alright.
for you. Best man.
She gets cold feet and runs off.
Honestly, Lummy, I
I'll give you
really
a
want
goal.
you to Ted Danson the shit out of this wedding. I want you to be like Nathan's mom and Joe.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny, how you said about him learning German for the Home Alone film. I'm actually ordained now. I can come and do the ceremony. I'm ready. Ready.
You're coming to the party though, this loser in.
No.
Yeah, I know. I'll make up for it there, Webb.
Yeah.
But look, Lummy, what's going on this
People
week?
prefer the party.
Any gigs? Where can people come and see you gigging this week?
This week, actually, it's a slow gig week. We're only doing 8.
Have a
week's
lovely
show,
bit
no,
of time
that's
off,
good,
buddy.
You can find me on Thursday watching Ghostbusters Afterlife. I can't wait.
So before we go into that, you've got Box Office Radio tomorrow night.
Box Office Radio tomorrow night. It's just a regular show, not like a best of or a music of it. So just different tracks on there. So that's 8 o'clock
Anything
on
from
Box
Home Alone?
Office. Not yet. I'll have a Christmas special though.
Okay, all right. And this Thursday, we are all going to see Ghostbusters Afterlife, and we are going to film some stuff and edit it together, and that will be on the Facebook channel and over on It's All Geek to Me over on that YouTube. So keep your field, and we will let you know when that footage is out there. But I don't know about you guys. I can't fucking wait. I'm really excited.
I can't wait. It's going to be good.
Live.
This is Home Alone 2's horrible cameo. I want to put his name in the titles. Yeah.
What?
You know,
Oh,
so
confused
Donald Trump in it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right. I wanted my name above the title Home Alone 2.
Like Donald Trump presents Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Starring
Well,
Donald
that's what
Trump.
he did with WrestleMania. I think it was 6 and 7 or 7 and 8. That he was there at WrestleMania 4 or 3. Saw Hulk Hogan slam Andre the Giant, and then was like, "This show's got to be at my hotel." And then for 2 years in a row, the biggest wrestling event in the world was at Trump Plaza, and it then got into the Battle of the Billionaires.
You've got all that wrong.
Go on.
Trump was the one who took Andre the Giant down.
Oh, really? Was that what happened? Oh, okay, I missed that.
I think you'll find Trump
forget
took
that,
him down, and then straight away took
Fake news? Am I fake news?
straight up. Yeah, you fake news. and all over.
Yeah.
Then he took the Undertaker down, then Ultimate Warrior, and just all did them all in a row. And he took the Rock down, and the Rock was only 11 at the time.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
before he was
So
I saw him in the
Me and my
audience.
alternative facts. I
Yeah.
just got to get out here with my alternative facts. Well, gentlemen, anything you want to say, Webby, before we go? Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I'd just like to wish Nathan and Joe a glorious wedding. I hope they're as happy as Peter Parker and Mary Jane were.
Oh, come on, that's nice of him.
Oh, thanks, Stanley.
And it actually made sense.
It did.
Yeah,
Like a
but hang
fully
on.
formed thought that came out of him. I can't believe it.
Well, it depends which version you're thinking about. Because if he's wishing you all the happiness that they had, it depends which version you saw. I mean, you could be some dark days ahead.
They were happy for a while, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, listen, ladies, thank you so much for watching the show this week. Thank you for all your brilliant comments. Please feel free to give us a like and a subscribe over on channel Lumb, and then go over to the It's All Geek to Me channel, where we've got loads of footage coming up every few days now. Give us a subscribe over there, and keep sharing the heck out of our material, ladies and gents.
Are we showing our Ghostbusters reviews next Monday? Then is that the idea?
Oh, we could do. We could do a little sneak peek of that. What we could do is a little teaser of that, Lummy, and then we could put the actual show up on the channel.
All right.
And are we going to do a Ghostbusters Afterlife review then next week without Webb? Because he's going to be good.
I got an idea. Why don't we just do a pre-record after we watched it on Thursday for you guys to have the night off next Monday?
And you can still feel like you're involved. Can you do a pre-record before the night before your wedding?
Well, when we get back, we could do it in the afternoon.
Lummy, are you around Thursday afternoon?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, let's do it.
Ghostbusters Afterlife review.
It would be a bit silly to talk about this film for like a year and then
you not be there
just
for
not do anything about it. Not to speak about.
We'll have to. What we'll do then? Maybe we do a non-spoiler, and then we go into spoilers like you do, and then if people haven't seen it, because it'll be Monday, won't it?
That's fair.
And then we'll put a big flashing thing saying spoilers.
So we do a reaction one without spoilers, and then we do a spoilerific episode.
So next Monday, that's what's on next Monday.
All right, cool. Fantastic. Well, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching the show. But for now, my name's been Gittins, this has been Webby, and he's been Lummy, and the little furry one is Dexter. And we are going to see you all next week. Goodbye!